Hello, friends and family. This is me making a Facebook video. Oh wow, I'm gonna say a lot. No, I'm just joking. I'm actually this is gonna be about me, and there's a point here, and that I'm gonna explain. I was just mowing the lawn. It's about 90 degrees outside, so if I look a little weird, I was mowing the lawn. Anybody that knows me knows that I don't care about appearances. This video is about me, and this is just to let people know that I'm okay. Because I've gotten some calls and a couple texts from people that I love and I respect that were showing me that they were legitimately and sincerely worried about my mental health and my physical safety. I know what it sounds like. I was in a very dysfunctional situation when I was a child, 40 years, 30, 40 years ago. I know what it's like when someone's worried about you. So I know that there are some people. I'm not a paranoid person. I worked at a dispensary. I worked at a grow facility. I'm like very zen. I'm a survivor of abuse, you know. So I know that these people were worried about me, and I'm okay. So I wanted to share a few details with you guys, just real quick, a couple minutes, to show you that I'm okay. Number one, the last few years I've been working. I got a job at Galaxy after I was homeschooling my kids. Homeschooling, it was the best time of my life. You know, we would get up, we'd have breakfast together, we'd pray, we'd read the Bible together. We would go to a park, or we'd take a walk. We'd go through the woods, the Midlothian Meadows. You know, it was fun. We looked at things and we saw we needed to make more money. We talked about everything we talked about, we planned, we agreed upon, we put it into action, you know. Up until, 3 to 6 months ago, we were on the same page on everything. So I got a job. I went out and I tried to find a job, and I found a job at Galaxy. I was doing labor work for harvest, post-harvest. I did a great job. I got promoted to transport agent. I got a $2 raise. I got licensed to drive the cargo van. I drove thousands of miles around Illinois. I did really well. And then after that, I got a job at another dispensary because I couldn't, my back and my legs were messing up. And I got a job at a dispensary, and I didn't get promoted. There were 3 times I could have been. And I congratulated the people that got promoted. I was the first person that did. And I want to say, I don't think that you could find the person at any of my last couple of jobs, the dispensary or Galaxy, the people that hated me the most. I don't think you could pick out the person that didn't like me. There was a couple people that didn't like me because I was nice. They didn't like me because I was friendly, and I took an interest in people. That's super weird for some people. Just like talking on Facebook. But I don't think you could take the couple of people that hated me for being a nice guy. I don't think that they would take money to say I was a bad guy, or I was unstable, or I was negative. I'm a person that kind of celebrates differences and tries to promote other people, So with the job, I've been doing good. And then the next job I got was the job I have now, which has been super stressful, but I've been doing well. At home, I'm not attacking anybody, but it's not been as supportive as I had hoped, and I've been suffering a little bit, not in a dangerous way where you need to call somebody, have an intervention, just in the way where I'm having trouble sleeping, and, I get a little grouchy, I've been lashing out a little bit, I was super tough on my kids for bedtime, stuff like that. But I've been doing really well. I actually, just this week, I got added, 2 days ago, I got added to the license. So now I could sign power of attorneys and issue international license plates, logging plates, and stuff in Canada. It's been cool. I'm doing a really good job. So I'm doing fine with work. This is the best job I ever had. I went from, homeschooling to, Galaxy to driving. I'm a responsible person. You don't have to worry about me. When I got these calls and texts, I honestly was so freaked out. It was like I was having a picnic and almost celebrating, and then somebody comes up and is like, "Are you all right? I'm seriously worried about you." I'm doing okay. I'm doing fine. So if anybody, I don't know exactly who it is, but people are talking. And I want you guys to know that I'm all right. There's nothing to worry about. I'm the same guy I've always been. I have a grasp on reality. I'm going every day to work. I talk to people in trucking companies. I talk to all kinds of people. People at the state, people in the government, and I'm doing all right. As far as mental health, I've never in my life been suicidal. There's never once, ever. Even when I was younger, and, my dad and my stepmother, they're saints. They took in a troubled teenager who was in an abusive, effed up home. And I was absolutely unstable when I was 15 and I moved in with them in Chicago. They're saints. I look back on that, and on that kid that I was, and I was crazy. They're angels. But in all that time, all the stuff I went through, the abuse and stuff before that, all the abuse that I saw, I never took any medicine. Never. I took Prozac for about 2 weeks, and I felt crazy when I took it, and I stopped taking it. I was about 22. That was 23 years ago. I've never taken mental medicine, any of that stuff. I've never felt the need, nothing against people who go to counseling, but I've never felt the need to talk to a third party because I was feeling like I was going to snap, or I had trouble with reality or anything. I'm a survivor. I've been okay. So I just want you to know that I'm all right. You don't have to worry about me. And then if you get a message or a text that says like, hey, Steven is going crazy, I'm fine. And all the evidence points to I'm okay. Now I want to say one last thing, and if you've watched for this long, 7 minutes, you really do care about me. And I got a few messages that honestly made me cry. I got a couple messages that made me cry because there's stuff going on right now at my house with my relationship. Since Thursday night, it's Saturday afternoon right now. My wife and kids haven't been here in the house. There's things going on. And, I just want you guys to know that through all of this, no matter what happens, like, I'm going to be okay. I would never physically, hurt anybody, ever. I'm a pacifist, like the dude in The Big Lebowski. Everybody who knows me knows this stuff. I'm a pacifist. I would never hurt anybody. I would never hurt myself. I would never commit a crime. I've never committed a crime in my life. Outside of, selling weed as a teenager and a 21-year-old, Sorry, but, Aside from that, I've never committed a crime. I don't think about, I don't think, maliciously, I think, I go day by day. I always say, I'm a guy out here trying to have a good day. I'm trying to have a good day, every day. I'm trying to help other people have a good day, too. And so if anybody's worried about me, or worried about my mental health, my physical health, my responsibilities, I'm doing fine. Everything points to I'm doing okay. So if anybody tries to convince you or tell you, or it sounds like gossip or anything, I'm doing all right. Me and my wife are going through a little something right now. There was a lot of incidents where I was super grouchy. I'll admit that. I own it. Where I was just not nice, I could have been and I wasn't. But there were way more times that I was nice. There are a lot of good times. When people get bogged down in the negatives, they look back and they only remember everything like it was horrible. It's like if somebody doesn't like you, you could be sitting there in the lunchroom and they'll be like, look at that guy eating his cracker. Anything you do sucks, So, we're not getting along right now. And I'll just say, just for transparency's sake, there was one night where I got drunk. I haven't gotten drunk since then. There was one night I got drunk about 3.5 weeks ago, where I went berserk, man. I was stressed to the max for the job, and I went totally fucking berserk. I'm sorry to use that French language, the F word, but I went berserk, man. And I swore. I pounded on the wall. I pounded on my computer, on the top of it. I broke this little fan that was on it. I'm not. This stuff scares people, when they see it from me, because I'm not an angry person, and I've never been. And I'm also not somebody who's violent or does anything angry or gets an outburst. I'm a person who's very calm and controlled and peaceful. And that night, you know, I totally was angry and I blew up, and it freaked people out. So I think from that, I agreed to go to counseling with my wife, a coworker. I've been resisting, and a coworker explained that counseling saved her marriage, that she was stubborn. She didn't want to go. And she resisted. And then it saves her marriage. She's been married for 25 years. She's like brilliant. She's like an amazing woman. And there's another woman named Marlisha I work with, who has been with her husband about 20 years. And she said the same thing. Around this time, 15 years marriage. This weekend is our 15-year wedding anniversary. I had all this stuff planned for the kids. None of it's happening. I'm heartbroken right now, and I'm trying to just keep it together. But because I don't want to like cry on a video. But you know, this woman Marlisha told me she didn't want to go to a counseling, and she went, and it saved her marriage. So I actually got the recommendation from my supervisor, and I agreed to go to counseling for the marriage. And I just want you guys to know all this, that everything's okay, everything is progressing in the right way. But if you hear anything that even remotely seems like someone is trying to tell you or convince you that I'm mentally unstable, physically unhealthy, or mentally unhealthy, I want you to know that all the facts point to that's wrong and that's false. I am doing okay, and I'm gonna do okay. I love my children, and I do love my wife, and I do love my new job. I love my house. I love life. I love Yeshua, God, the Messiah, and I'm doing fine. I went out today, even though they were gone. I went out, I mowed the lawn in 90 degrees weather. I dropped the car off at the mechanic. You know, I did a whole bunch of stuff. I'm fine. Even when there's like everything's burning down around me, I'm still going to accomplish my responsibilities. I'm still going to have faith in God. So please, this is about me. If there's anything that I should not have shared in this video, I want you to write it in the comments, because people have made some false accusations. Some stuff has been true, and I took stuff down, but some stuff has been false, where people are like, oh, he's doing this, and I don't know. I look at what I wrote, and it's not that bad. So if there's anything that's objectionable, I shouldn't have said, please write it in the comments, and I promise you I'll probably delete this. But I want everyone to know that I'm doing okay. There's nothing to worry about, and that everything is going to be fine. I love my family, and I am going to keep on keeping on. Every day I'm going to go to work. I'm going to keep on my healthy lifestyle. I'm going to keep losing weight. You probably can't tell, but I was so much fatter a few months ago, and I feel so much better. I feel like lighter on my feet. I'm doing good. So don't worry, okay? People called me and they were so scared, and that freaked me out. You don't have to be worried about me, okay? So God in heaven, please bless all my friends and family that are worried about me. Please be with them. Please be with us. Please get my family at home safely here, and please soften their hearts so that in this little windows of time that I have each week, each night, that they'll give me a chance to have a good relationship with them. That's all I could ask for. In the name of Yeshua, amen. So thank you so much for caring enough to watch this far. Everything's going to be all right. I'm about to go out back in the sun. It feels good. And yeah, don't worry. So thanks for watching. And if you think this is cringeworthy or weird to share this, I really don't care. I probably respect you less if you have a problem with, me just expressing myself on this medium. So yeah, thank you. Many blessings, and Shabbat Shalom.